You guys all love cartoons, right? Well, most of you do. I'm sure some of you hate cartoons and only like when I do videos on stuff like AVGN or Redman or Metroid. For you rare freaks, we got something today that is a very different kind of cartoon. One made with cameras and real guys instead of drawings. It's AJ Goes to the Dog Park by Toby Jones. Now, the astute obscure lore sickos watching this may be like, hey, that's a guy that made another thing with AJ in it one time, a pilot on Cartoon Network called AJ's Infinite Summer. Why is he doing it again? Has he run out of ideas? And the quick answer is, I don't know. But again he has, and here I am to finally get a chance to talk about it. Toby was nice enough to let me see the film early, and I jumped at the opportunity to give my 2 cents before the film releases on July 25th. It's the least I could do for him after spending literal months pestering him about the newest Switch 2 and Metroid Prime 4 rumors on Discord. And before we dig in, to be clear, I won't be getting into spoilers with the movie. This is an actual review and not a weirdo personal retrospective on a thing where I get all navel-gazy and talk about what mentally unstable characters I connected to the most. I need to keep that demon chained up for the 3-hour Beast Wars video that I'm eventually going to do. If you do want to see more of that, dear God, do I have a channel for you to subscribe to? Me. But yes, like an early birthday present, this movie offers a legally distinct glimpse into a world that is kinda like the one explored in the CN pilot, as well as the YouTube sequel episode animatic that Toby Jones and Madeline Careypel made. I always wanted an excuse to talk about AJ's Infinite Summer and why I love it so much. Well, yes, this isn't literally the same world and characters. It maintains a lot of stylistic similarities. There is thoroughly cartoon-ass DNA in this film. There was a casual, nonsensical attitude to the other AJ pilots that really vibed with me. It felt like jokes and gags came so easily, and over again you were left laughing and then going, wait, what? And then laughing even harder. It really managed to set itself apart from something like Regular Show, in which Toby Jones boarded on for a few seasons. Whereas Regular Show feels like a show that desperately is trying to maintain being regular while the entire world around it falls apart, AJ just says screw it and commits 100% to its dumbness and takes a sledgehammer to its own world. This rings very true for AJ Goes to the Dog Park. The movie is exactly what it says in the tin. AJ goes to the dog park, antics ensue. Eventually he finds himself in a rising star type story against the city mayor and slowly recruits an RPG party of weirdos along the way. I was a bit worried this movie, being a spiritual successor to Infinite Summer, would lose something in the transfer. Like, its bigger scope, the length, and the change of medium would make it a lot harder to be as punchy as the 11-minute pilot was, and yet, somehow, it feels like that formula is perfected here. The humor, the style, even the stupid antics come off as completely natural. A nearly flawless evolution of the concept. I'd almost say the live actionness of the movie adds to the casual stupidity. Actually seeing real humans have to engage with the dumbest scenes in dialogue of all time is an absolute delight. The setting of Fargo, North Dakota really accentuates the whole thing. It's such an unassuming city with unassuming people in a state that the vast majority of planet Earth forgets exists. The only thing I know about North Dakota is the potato olays from Taco John's. According to OKKO co-showrunner Ian Jones-Quartey, one of the main reasons he wanted Toby Jones at his side while creating the full series of OKKO after the pilot was that he was jealous of just how effortlessly funny he could be at writing jokes. And a decade on, that still rings true in this film. Comedy is hard to write about, given how subjective it is, but I can at least try to promise that the relentless jokes never feel like they're getting old or taking away from something. The movie quickly establishes its modus operandi, and you are thrown into a flow state of dumb from there on. But none of this would work nearly as well if it weren't for the performances. AJ Thompson, the real guy, absolutely killed it. The transition from animation to live action did nothing to hinder him. I was always a fan of his cheery, gormless demeanor as the voice of AJ, but there is something so much funnier about seeing him portray that as a normal guy. That matter-of-fact delivery to every line just cracked me up, and being able to switch effortlessly from really stupid lines in a normal scenario to normal lines in a really stupid scenario just shows how versatile both the actor and the script are. Much like those previous AJ things, he really carries the project on his own, and that's incredibly impressive to me. The whole thing solely focuses on AJ with a prominent but still secondary cast of supporting characters. It's almost like a classic American novel in a way. AJ is this generation's Holden Caulfield. However, I think it's the mayor that steals the show for me. Crystal Cosette Knight, my hat is off to you. Her hamming it up on screen is the perfect counterpoint to AJ's matter-of-factuality, and the way that their rivalry develops and escalates was awesome to view. I won't spoil too much of her, and I dare not spoil any jokes, but she has a line at the end of Act 2 that literally made me cry from laughter, and I had to pause the movie. The rest of the townies, as well as the crew of weirdos that accumulate around AJ, are the spice that brings the whole production to life. It has that genuine, kinda crappy feel that I love so much in stuff like Joe Pera Talks With You, or Red Letter Media, or even The Peanuts, and I'm just now noticing that all this stuff has the Midwest as the common theme. There's a particular running joke with the party members that made me laugh, made me feel sad, and then made me laugh way harder. The world is just so imbued with personality and, dare I say, heart and charm. I'm begging for a sequel or some kind of follow-up to just give these guys all more to do, if nothing else. Without giving too much away about the movie, I ended up really relating to AJ, and not just because I am also a bearded white guy with glasses. No, just the idea of losing track of time, your friends, your life, in a dogged pursuit of your end goals. It's a very human part of growing up, especially for those that are in creative professions, or maybe in a profession where you meet a lot of new people fairly regularly and people come in and out of your life. I know I've definitely let months slip into years and years in many of my relationships and have beaten myself up over it. For the most part though, real bonds do last the test of time. I had a friend who moved away to Atlanta and then eventually moved back. In the years before they moved, we drifted apart and we rarely talked, even on Discord. At the time, I really didn't sweat it. That's life. It was their loss, I shouldn't worry too much about it. But as soon as that same person moved back and then asked to hang out again, we fell right back into that groove that we had slowly lost since high school, and it was way better than it ever was before. I'm lucky enough to still have a group of friends to play Mario Kart with, or spend a whole night watching somebody play Donkey Kong Country 2 or Majora's Mask while just chatting on the couch. Some things leave and are gone forever, and that does suck, but you can take the effort to build that bridge again and realize things don't have to be exactly the same. Sometimes they can become even better. Aw, crap. Even in this lighthearted review, I still managed to be all introspective and navel-gazy about it. I guess that's just what good art does to ya. If there is any problem I have towards the movie, it's that it doesn't go quite as far as I'd like in resolving its thesis in an emotionally satisfying way. It's not, to use a completely random example, like the finale of OKKO, but I figure that's because it's not really trying to be that story. And what it is being and what it succeeds in is something that I absolutely love, so it's a minor complaint overall. It's clear that, beyond there being the bones of a capital C cartoon in this movie, there is also so much DNA from everything that Toby Jones loves and admires. Everything from UCB to anime to tokusatsu to art house films, all done with such style on a micro budget. There's a scrappiness and a just out of our grasp quality to the scope of this movie that really endears me to it. I find that the most impressive or just memorable art is always found in the pursuit of a greater idea, rather than actually achieving it, and that sums up the low-budget indie film to a T. There is a lot of incredibly impressive shots or moments that completely caught me off guard, but just as many, good enough, you get the idea, moments that made me laugh all the same. That is inspirational and aspirational. So thank you, Toby Jones, not only for letting me rant to you about Metroid Prime 4 for months, but also making such a complete film that feels completely you. It really is the final evolution of everything you've worked on to this point. Whether we get a sequel or a web series or a show on Adult Swim or nothing at all, you gave us one of the most joyously dumb films of the year. Needless to say, everybody go out there, check out AJ Goes to the Dog Park July 25th, baby, and then be like me and rewatch those other 2 AJ episodes. Then watch the movie again, then rewatch all of OKKO, and then